everyone, welcome back to more Let's Play God of War 2. This is the extras video. First thing we're going to be covering is the Challenge of the Titans. Welcome. Welcome. It's going to be a nice laid-back, chill session of God of War 2 commentary, because all I'm going to be doing is talking about some extra stuff. So, jump into treasures, jump into Challenge of the Titans. 7 rooms, 7 challenges. Yep, less challenges than in God of War 1. I would say overall the Challenge of the Titans is easier than the God of War 1 Challenge of the Gods. This is easily the second most difficult challenge this is easily the second most difficult set of challenges in the God of War series, I think. Well, maybe the Challenge of Exile in God of War 3 is a little bit more difficult. Actually, you know, I'd say it is the third most difficult. Anyway, first challenge, Blind Fury. We have to remove the eyes of a Cyclops here as quickly as possible, shattering 2 enemies for bonus points. Bonus points are a thing we'll get into in a second. Basically, just use your magic, get the Cyclops weak enough to very quickly take its eye out as soon as you can. Use the Head of Euryale magic to freeze enemies. There we go. The end. We have a ranking system at the end of every challenge. There's an overall rank that we can get, as well as individual ranks for every single category. I'm going to be showing you how to get them all in Titan difficulty. I'm also showing you for this first challenge that you can take advantage of this first challenge to get to farm for Cyclops eyes. You can't use any of your Urns of Power. That's only for bonus play, not for the Challenge of the Titans. Again, back to the first challenge. We're just ripping out the eye of a Cyclops. All you have to do is just weaken it enough. Take some hits every now and again. You are not playing the Challenge of the Titans on Titan difficulty, so don't worry about the damage you take from enemies. It's not nearly as much as it would be in Titan mode, so take that in consideration with everything that you do at this point, and with everything that I do at this point, and everything that I say at this point. Take into consideration the fact that it's not going to be highly difficult. So you can farm Titan's Eyes just by doing this challenge. Instead, you have to return to the challenge select every single time. You don't want to, if you just restart the challenge, you're not going to be, it's not going to count as you collecting the eye. You have to back out of the challenge after you complete it, and then once you get a new eye, it will be your 6th eye, and you can do it again for your 7th eye, and so on and so forth. Moving on though. Actually, I'm going to show you one more time, getting one more eye. 5th eye, 6th eye, 7th eye, so on and so forth. You can get 20 eyes pretty quickly this way. There's another way to do it if you unlock the Arena of the Fates, but we're going to talk about how to unlock the Arena of the Fates in just a second. Let's move on to the second challenge. Okay, so the second challenge is Death from Above. Kill at least 10 enemies in the air before time runs out. Bonus points by killing 15 enemies. This is a challenge where you want to do the classic God of War 1 strategy of launching enemies up in the sky and then attacking them as much as you can once they're up there. Starts off pretty easy. There's only one scythe and sword enemy to deal with. But then another one's going to pop up, and then Berserkers are going to pop up, then Gorgons are going to pop up. That's just how this challenge works. It's an annoying challenge. I would say this is still easier than the God of War 1 challenge rooms, but the quality of the challenges is improved overall. Whereas God of War 1 had a few very difficult challenges, God of War 2 has a whole bunch of medium to slightly highly difficult challenges. Whereas God of War 1 had some easy challenges, and then those were, you know, very easily set aside for the far more difficult challenges that awaited you for some of the later rooms, the later rooms. So just launch enemies up in the sky. You can use the classic holding triangle to launch them up, or you can use the Icarus Wings, which is L1X. Icarus Wings is a good way to launch multiple enemies up into the sky as well. Be careful of the Berserkers. They are relentless and they don't get launched up into the sky. Be careful of Gorgons. They can freeze you if they're up in the sky. You have a time limit for this challenge. Most of the challenges have time limits, but not all of them. This one does, so you do have a strict time limit to actually kill all the enemies that you need to kill up in the sky. Let me talk a little bit about the ranking system. There are 2 rewards for the challenge of the challenge of the Titans. You can unlock collecting the 20 Cyclops eyes unlocks unlocks an extra costume for you. completing the challenges with an overall ranking of Mortal, which is the lowest ranking or better, gets you the Urn of the Fates. Completing all the challenges with an overall ranking of Spartan or better gives you the Urn of Poseidon. The God of War armor, which is one of the bonus costumes that Kratos gets, is unlocked with a ranking of God or better, and the Arena of the Fates is unlocked with an overall ranking of Titan or better. So it's lots of rewards. You have to get the highest ranking to unlock all the things. And to get the highest ranking, it really helps to do the bonus objectives that are set out in every single challenge. So I already finished the challenge by killing 10 enemies in the air, but now I want to make sure I kill 15 for the bonus ranking. I also want to make sure I get lots of red orbs and a high combo in this challenge, because those are also categories that play into what your ranking is at the end of the challenge. Like I said, every single one of these challenges, I cut out all my deaths and I cut out all the attempts that get me rankings that are less than Titan, so you're going to be watching how to get the Titan ranking on every single challenge here for the Challenge of the Titans. Now, bonus is achieved. We've killed 15 enemies. Now I'm taking the time here to use my Chronos Rage to boost up my combo to ensure that I get a high ranking for that category and make sure that I get the overall ranking of Titan. So fantastic. Let's move on. Now we have Gorgon Graveyard. We have to shatter 25 enemies. We get bonus points by shattering 35. We have a time limit. You can force Gorgons to use their Gorgon gaze by trying to grab them. If you grab them, the first thing a Gorgon will always do in retaliation is try to stare at you. So if you want to force them to, if you want to force a stare to parry and to freeze everything around you, then just go ahead and try to grab the Gorgon. Gorgon's immune to grabbing. It'll slither away. It'll try to stare at you. You can use that to your advantage to very quickly get your shattered number up. Try not to kill the Gorgon. The Gorgon does respawn, but it takes a while for it to respawn, so you'll be wasting precious time if the Gorgon is killed. So try not to kill the Gorgon, try not to shatter the Gorgon. The Gorgon, just use it as a way to freeze enemies very quickly. Right now, I'm very quickly trying to check and see which costume is the costume that you get for collecting all of the Cyclops eyes. Let's see. God of War, no. Hydra armor, perhaps. Let's see. Before being unlocked, the description of the costume. Unlocked, nope, not that one. Perhaps a Dark Odyssey is the one. Nope, not Dark Odyssey either. Perhaps Athena is the one. Nope, not Athena either. Perhaps Hercules is the costume. Oh, here we go. General Kratos. The olive skin Kratos. Kratos before he became the Ghost of Sparta. That is the costume you get for collecting 20 Cyclops eyes. There we go. Only took me clicking through every single costume to find it. Oy. Anyway, back to what's going on screen. Again, very simple, very straightforward. Just try to grab the Gorgon. It'll stare at you, freeze everything around you. Focus on shattering the bigger enemies or all enemies with square triangle combos. Try not to shatter the Gorgon because you'll be wasting precious time if you do that. And once you reach the bonus objective of 35, which I'm about to, make sure you don't stop trying, because just because you reach the bonus objective, that doesn't guarantee that does not guarantee a Titan ranking for your efforts. So make sure after you get to 35 that you continue killing enemies. That way you can get you can't really get a high combo in this challenge. This challenge isn't really designed for that, but you can get lots and lots of red orbs and get a high ranking for the red orb category, and ensure that you can get a Titan rank through the combination of red orbs and bonus objectives alone. Here I'm trying to get a high combo because we're almost out of time, and I decided that I don't want to shatter anything anymore, and I also wanted to get some more red orbs, but really Yeah, just trying to improve my rankings for various categories before I get my final rank. But as you can see, I got a Titan on enough that I was able to get the overall ranking of Titan. This challenge is very difficult. I'm going to explain more in a little bit, but first here is a speed up montage. Blade of Olympus has to be leveled up at this point up to level 2 for the next challenge. Slow down time and just slow down time and attack enemies relentlessly with the Blade of Olympus. Make sure you get it up to level 2 before the next challenge. There we go. Okay, next challenge. The reason you want to get the Blade of Olympus up to level 2 for the next challenge is because Reap the Rewards is much, much easier if you get your Blade of Olympus to level 2. The red orbs that you've collected in the main story carry over into Challenge of the Titans. Aside from that, however, you get the red orbs that you collect in Challenge of the Titans, you get to keep. They are yours to use for upgrades and stuff. So make sure you use them to upgrade the Blade of Olympus to level 2 as soon as possible. Because you need the Blade of Olympus fully powered up for the end of this challenge, but you need at least a level 2 for the second challenge. Considering how many red orbs you get in the first 4 challenges, you should have enough to get enough to level up the Blade of Olympus for these final challenges. Even if you started off with the Challenge of the Titans with 0 red orbs, you should have enough to level it up to at least level 2 for this challenge, which is the minimum that you need in order to get through the Challenge of the Titans relatively easily. This whole challenge here is all about collecting red orbs. I believe enemies do not drop red orbs upon being killed normally, so you either have to get red orbs through big combos, or you have to use Blade of Olympus level 2 to get them. And if you use Blade of Olympus level 2, it's much easier, and you have plenty of extra time to focus on getting big combos, to collect more red orbs. Very nice, very straightforward. The previous challenge was a mess. I did horrible at it, but as you saw from that previous challenge, you don't necessarily have to do the bonus objectives to guarantee a Titan ranking in Challenge of the Titans. That particular challenge was so difficult that I guess the game is really, really lenient on what is required in order to get a Titan rank for it, because I did everything really, really badly for the previous challenge, but I still ended up getting Titan ranked anyway, so, I don't know. Just try your best with the previous challenge. If you can get away with making sure the translator has more than half health before the end, then great, but if not, then don't worry about it. Keep playing till the end anyway, and see if you still get the Titan ranking anyway, because there's a higher chance with that challenge that you just might. So that's good. This challenge, though, now that we do have Blade of Olympus level 2, very, very straightforward. Just keep using L1 circle attack. You get more red orbs. You don't get that many, not in comparison to the other challenges that you've been doing so far, but you get a decent amount, and it's good to continue collecting red orbs. That way, you will be able to upgrade your Blade of Olympus to level 3 for later challenges. Not that you need it to be level 3, you need it to be level 2 to make this challenge easier, but you don't need it to be level 3. Level 3 is just there to make things easier for yourself in the future. It is the strongest sub-weapon and the only sub-weapon I use with any regularity outside of the main playthrough, wherein I can't use it. Compared to the Barbarian Hammer and the Spear of Destiny, Blade of Olympus is fantastic. Alright, let's move on to the next challenge. Next challenge is going to be another gauntlet. Unlike the Protect the Translator one, this one we have our health being drained away. Not that quickly, not compared to Chains of Olympus, so it's not that bad. Here's a montage, and then I'll explain the strategy. Strategy revolves around Atlas Quake. You want to make sure you're using Atlas Quake the entire time for this fight. Not the entire time. You want to make sure that you are balancing killing large amounts of enemies with Atlas Quake and killing the right enemies with QTEs to get their precious magic orbs. You're not going to have enough magic to use Atlas Quake to kill everything in one go. You are going to have to make sure that you kill some enemies, like the raids, with regular attacks or regular grabs, in order to ensure that you get their precious magic orbs, in order to have enough Atlas Quake for later parts of the fight, where bigger enemies come in and larger amounts of enemies come in to really make your day difficult. Prioritize dealing with summoners. You don't want summoners to stick around for too long. Make sure you kill raids, summoners, and even Hades Minotaurs with QTEs if you can, to get large amounts of magic back, to keep using more Atlas Quakes for the rest of this gauntlet. Okay, and with that done, not that difficult, we move on to the final challenge of the Titans, which is Perfectionist Divine. Kill all enemies without being hit. Forget the bonus objective for this, as we talked about for the translator challenge. It's you know, some of these bonus objectives are really stupid. This one in particular is the only one that I actively don't bother with at all. The translator one, if you can do it with him having more than half health, that's great. If you can't, then don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. There's a good chance you're still going to have that you're still gonna have a good enough ranking to get Titan anyway. And for this one, I don't even try with the bonus because the bonus is stupid. I have to use magic here to keep enemies away from me and stun them long enough to ensure that that I stand a chance, especially with summoners at play here. The summoners summon Berserker Cyclops. You absolutely don't want them to summon the Berserker Cyclops at all. They are awful. By this point, I have enough red orbs to upgrade my Blade of Olympus to level 3, so I went ahead and did that. Hooray. Level 3 Blade of Olympus is like fully powered up Master Sword in Zelda, where you can, every attack you do shoots out a laser beam. It's great. Yeah. Now that I've used magic to take care of all but this last summoner, I can just take care of it the regular way. It's not that bad when it's by itself. Don't let it summon the Berserker Cyclops, or you are screwed and you will not be able to complete this challenge without taking any damage. But once the final summoner is done for, you can go ahead and deal with the Rock Minotaur, the fourth and final Rock Minotaur in God of War 2. There it is. We have the Blade of Olympus, so it's not going to take that long to deal with this time. We're also doing this stuff in difficulty that is not Titan difficulty, so don't expect things to do as much damage to you or to take that long to die. So I hope you enjoyed my walkthrough of the Challenge of the Titans. Once we complete this final challenge, we're going to get a final ranking of all 7 of the challenges, and depending on the final ranking, it depends on the rewards that you get, as I described before. Mortal or better ranking gets you the Urn of the Fates. Spartan or better ranking gets you the Urn of Poseidon. The God of War armor is unlocked by getting an overall ranking of God or better. And the Arena of the Fates, which is our next extra, is unlocked by getting an overall ranking of Titan, which we did. Congratulations to us. That is the Challenge of the Titans. The only thing I have left to show now is just the main menu for the Challenge of the Titans, because we didn't really look at that all that closely before I started. It's pretty straightforward. It's a nice little menu. We'll go ahead and jump back to it right now. Excuse me a second there. Need some water. We go ahead and jump back to it right now. Here is the challenge select screen for Challenge of the Titans. Not much to it. Occasionally it tells you what the actual challenge is, which is nice. Your best rank, your most recent saved rank, and that's it. That's Challenge of the Titans. Hope you enjoyed. Next up, we move on to the Arena of the Fates. So I will see you all for the next extra. Okay, our next extra is the Arena of the Fates. You can only unlock the Arena of the Fates by completing the Challenge of the Titans with an overall ranking of Titan or better. We cover how to do that in the previous section, so watch that if you want to see how to get an overall ranking of Titan or better in the Challenge of the Titans. Arena of the Fates is a combat arena. It's just a fancy schmancy combat arena. You can see all the names of all the enemies. You can pick the encounters you want to have, and you can go ahead and have fun and enjoy those encounters for yourself. You can make it so the enemies respawn, so they don't respawn, so they attack you, so they just hang out. You can also make it so that you could spawn in unlimited Berserker Cyclopes, which you need to do in order to collect the 20 eyes. So if you have not yet collected the 20 eyes, either from the Palace of the Fates fight in episode 9 of this Let's Play, or through farming through the first Challenge of the Titans, which we covered in the previous section of Challenge of the Titans, then if you have Arena of the Fates, then you can use Arena of the Fates to get the eyes this way, as I'm going to show you right now. I made it so Cyclops always respawn. They can't attack me. In Arena of the Fates, everything you have collected from the main story and Challenge of the Titans carries over. You can also now use the actual Urns of Power here, so you can see the effect of each one, what they do. You can turn them on or off if you want. A decent set of powers, but I prefer the out of all of them. I wish the Ghost of Sparta one of being able to automatically win QTEs was included. That's the only one I wish was here, but whatever. So here we can also farm for our Cyclops eyes. Just make it so that 3 Cyclops spawn in. Make it so they always respawn. Make it so they can't attack you, and then just kill them with QTEs. And before we know it, we will have 20 eyes, and that'll be that. That is how you collect 20 eyes, either through this, either through Challenge of the Titans, or through the Palace of the Fates fight in the beginning of God of War 2 Episode 9. Shameless plug for that video. So there is our 10th eye, and we're going to speed up now to collect them all. There is one other thing that I would like to talk about, and that is what happens if you gain a max combo of 999,999 hits. That is a thing that can happen. That's the thing you can do here in the Arena of the Fates. If you manage to hit a combo that high, the actual full max combo, you will be able to unlock a secret website. A link to a secret website will be shown on screen briefly before it disappears. If you type in that website, I mean, nowadays nothing happens, but as you'll see from video that I sourced, if you typed in that website back in the day when this game first came out, you will be able to you'll be able to find a secret viral campaign to promote. I think it was to promote the upcoming release of Chains of Olympus, to announce the existence of Chains of Olympus. A lot of people were speculating that this was potentially to announce the release of God of War 3, but it was to announce the release of Ready at Dawn Studios' 2008 title, Chains of Olympus, which is a great title. I mean, let's play it here. So if you want to see what Chains of Olympus is like, you can check it out. But that's what Island of Rhodes is going to be, and we'll see that in a little bit. I'm also taking advantage of the Arena of the Fates to upgrade everything to max. I don't have to, but, you know, just why not? We're here. If you want to max everything out, this is a place to do it after the main story. Like I said, everything carries over after you upgrade everything. And here it is. This is what happens when you get to a 999,999 hits. You're going to unlock a secret website for the arena, for the islandofrhodes.com. You go to that, it will take you to a special site with Kratos looking at you, counting down the days, I think, to the announcement of Chains of Olympus. So, yeah, that's it. On to the next extra. Our next extra is going to be bonus play. We're going to take a look at all the rest of the treasures first, just because it's not really much to see here. It describes what the Urns of Power do. It describes the various costumes that Kratos has. But our next actual extra is bonus play. Bonus play is what God of War 2 calls New Game Plus. Bonus play is you going back and playing through the game again, but you can put on a special costume. You can bring in everything that you've upgraded last time. You can bring into... You can bring in this time, so you can start from the very beginning with fully upgraded Blade of Olympus, fully upgraded Blades of Athena, fully upgraded Barbarian Hammer, Spear of Destiny, Chronos Rage, Typhon's Bane, Head of Euryale, everything. And you can go into any difficulty. You have to actually finish that difficulty in the normal playthrough first, but once you have a little symbol with the Blade of Olympus next to it, it means you can play that difficulty in bonus play if you want. And here are all the costumes again, the various costumes. Most of them are just unlocked by completing the game. The General Kratos is unlocked with the 20 Cyclops eyes. God of War armor is unlocked through Challenge of the Titans. But most of them are just unlocked by beating the game on the many difficulties. So if you finish the game in Titan mode, you unlock most of them. Completing the Challenge of the Titans in God mode unlocks another one, and collecting the 20 Cyclops eyes unlocks another one. So here we go. We're starting again. We can actually skip cutscenes with the press of a button. I didn't do that for the main playthrough, obviously, because we want to experience the story. But here I am, the God of War. Just a little bit of fun here. You can go ahead and enjoy yourself with maxed out everything if you went ahead and maxed out everything through the Arena of the Fates or through Challenge of the Titans. You can go ahead and turn on all of the things to have even more fun and make yourself even more uber powerful. You can play on the lowest difficulty or the highest difficulty to give yourself a challenge, depending on what you want to do. It's all available to you in bonus play. Bonus play is very, very fun. I believe you cannot change your costume after you start bonus play. So once you pick a costume, you're stuck with it until you're stuck with it until you either start the game over, or you finish the game. So choose wisely with which costume you want to go with. I picked the God of War, of course, because the God of War is fantastic, just as he looked in God of War 1. We're not going to play too much of bonus play. I just want to show off a little bit just how relaxing it is after a difficult playthrough of God of War 2 to sit back and let loose with Fish Kratos with his hooks of Athena, using whatever magic you want without the fear of dying. Just enjoying yourself. We can also see some cool stuff about the Colossus as well once we actually start fighting it in just a second. First of all, it's not really possible in the regular playthrough, but the Colossus actually has a hitbox the entire time. It's not just when it slams its arm on the ground. You can use Typhon's Bane or Chronos Rage to hit the Colossus even when it's not directly smacking its arm down on you. It's very fun, very unique. Bonus play allows you to break the game in fun ways and allows you to really see really see how much thought was put into the game, not just for an initial playthrough, but for even fun stuff like this, for even fun extra stuff like this. There's a lot of thought that goes into making this making this super fun. So I applaud bonus play. Bonus play is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and finish things up, though, here with a quick little QTE against the Colossus once again. This time I'm not going to mess it up, unlike in my original playthrough, where I did. I was quite nervous when I was recording God of War 2. I don't know. I guess I was expecting it to be so much more difficult than it actually ended up being. But if you look at my main playthrough, I actually did really, really well. Anyway, that is bonus play. I'm not going to show off anymore. That's enough to give you a taste of what it is. On to the next extras. So there's a lot of miscellaneous junk that comes with God of War 2, mostly because God of War 2 was really hyped up and really pushed to be a big first party Sony title after how well God of War 1 did. First off, we're taking a look at all the trophies. They're all pretty straightforward. If you want to see how to do things like getting a 500-hit combo or something like that, then you can take a look at the main playthrough for that stuff. But they're all very, very straightforward. God of War 2 included a high-resolution mode in the original PlayStation 2 version, which was hidden. It was a high-resolution mode that was hidden, but if you found out how to do it, which there is a link in the description below that teaches you stuff about about how the high-resolution mode was hidden and how to figure out how to do it, you can play God of War 2 looking a little bit better than it did if you played it normally. High-resolution mode doesn't make it that much better, but it is a little something for the PlayStation 2 players that exists. I also have a link for various God of War 2 cheats and secrets. I have a link to the demo of God of War 2, which is very interesting because it's a little bit different than most of the other demos. It's actually like a curated, different experience for God of War 2 as opposed to just being a slice of gameplay like it was for most other God of War games. The manual for God of War 2 is also included. We're going to take a look at the images of the manual in a little bit. But if you want to download it for yourself and actually take a look at the original manual, then there's a link for that as well. There is also going to be a link for the documentary, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in a second. God of War 2 had a full documentary made detailing its development from start to finish, from concept to finished product. So if you want to see the ins and outs of game development for AAA titles back in 2007, the God of War 2 making of documentary is for you. It's included both in the original PlayStation 2 version and in the PlayStation 3 remaster for the God of War collection. Here are all the chapters. There is a link in the description that will take you to the to all the videos that you're seeing here. I'm not actually going to show all the videos because this is like over an hour of stuff here, but if you were interested to see how God of War 2 was made, all aspects of it, then you can go ahead and check out these videos. There's also original trailers for God of War 2. There's an extra trailer that I found that isn't included in there that IGN put out that is also included in the links. You also saw a little something called God of War Unearthing the Legend. Unearthing the Legend was something that was made post God of War 2. Talking about the story and mythology stuff that inspired God of War and how Kratos fits into all of that. That's a really interesting documentary. I recommend you you go ahead and watch that. It's included in the links below as well. Also included is an XMB screen, so if you want to see what God of War 2 looks like when you're loading it up on your PS3, there's a link to check that out. There's also a link to check out every single QTE fail for God of War, for God of War 2. So if you want to see what happens when you fail QTEs in God of War 2, you can go ahead and check that out as well. Game Directors Live is where the directors for Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, the original God of War, and God of War 2 all get together to discuss making video games. I believe, yeah, and the director of God of War 3 as well, because that came out post God of War 3. That's included in the Ghost of Sparta extras video. In the Ghost of Sparta extras video, a link to that, but I'll also include a link to that here for the God of War 2 extras video as well. This is the digital manual for all of the for all the God of War games that we've played so far on my PlayStation 3. God of War 3, I'm playing the remastered version on PlayStation 4, so this whole section here is just an ode, a goodbye to God of War, to God of War on PS3. Because after this, we're moving on to God of War 3, which I'm playing the remastered version, which is on PS4, which means that all this extra stuff that came with the PS3 God of War collection is not going to be relevant for God of War 3, which means that this is the last time we'll get to look at it and talk about it. The PlayStation 3 remastered collection of the God of War games that included all of the titles except for Ascension, because Ascension hadn't come out yet, was fantastic. It was my first exposure to God of War, and it was a fantastic way to, deep dive into the God of War franchise. So I really liked the collection. It was a fantastic collection of fantastic games. Yeah. While I have a second, I also want to briefly talk about the novelization of God of War 2. Novelization of God of War 2 is included in the link. The audio for the novelization is included in the link below. So are my notes and time links to make it easier for people that want to actually listen to the audiobook of God of War 2 for whatever reason. I really like the novelization of God of War 2. My notes go into more details as to why, but basically it expands and expounds on things that the game just doesn't have enough time to expand and expound upon. It was also released in 2011, which means post God of War 3, which means it was written with God of War 3, which means that the novelization of God of War 2 was written with God of War 3 in mind, which is really fantastic and puts God of War 2's story in interesting context, implying stuff like Kratos opening Pandora's box didn't just affect and poison the gods, but it also affected and poisoned the Sisters of Fate, things like that. Very, very interesting things that expand on the story of God of War 2 and make it more interesting and more, part of the bigger trilogy, since the novelization was written with the ending of the trilogy in mind, as opposed to the game, which was just made to, be its own game. As we take a look at this manual, however, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts on God of War 2 and the God of War collection as a whole. As I said before, I love the God of War collection. It was my first exposure to the God of War franchise, and it was a fantastic exposure to the God of War franchise. Fantastic bargain. The price of one game for 5 high-quality titles, because the collection included God of War 3 as well. Again, though, we're playing God of War 3 the PS4 remastered version, not the PS3 version, so still, a fantastic collection of titles. God of War has been a really special franchise to me. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. God of War 2 in particular is a very ambitious title. I like basically everything that it does. If it wasn't for the fact that the franchise gets better with God of War 3 in terms of gameplay and mechanics, the franchise gets better with God of War 3. If it wasn't for that, God of War 2 would be my absolute favorite game. And in some ways it is, in terms of story, in terms of ambition. But just the sheer excellence of the mechanics of God of War 3 make it so that God of War 3 is my favorite game to play, but God of War 2 might be my favorite game just in the Greek saga in general. So very, very special game. That image right there, they're teasing. I guess they're not really teasing anything, but like Chains of Olympus comes out 2008, I think, right? So whatever. I'm showing off the God of War saga, my actual game case, so you can see all the stuff that's included in there. The nice images. Yeah. It's good stuff. Now I'm going to show off the XMB screen for the God of War collection, and then we'll start to wrap it up. So here we go. And that is everything I can think to show you for God of War, for the God of War collection. As I said, we're moving away from PS3, and now we're on to PS4 with God of War 3. Again, I hope you all really, really enjoyed God of War 2. I love it. It's a fantastic game, and I'm very excited to ramble and rave over God of War 3. I think that's all I have to say. So enjoy these credits for the God of War collection, for the people that worked really hard to bring the entire collection to you for the price of one title. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Keep an eye out for the collectibles guide if that's not already out, and keep an eye out for God of War 3. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.